Hey gang, welcome to another Andrew Bellamy conversation piece. Today we have a very special guest, a guy named Aiken, and you know, we were talking before this video, and Guy's an actor. He was actually, you might have seen him as the preacher in The Grapes of Wrath at Wake Forest University. And I think we're going to talk about acting, and we might delve into some other stuff about how Guy acts in real life. It's pretty interesting. It's got a good essence about him. But yeah, welcome.
So acting, and we talking about acting and talking about real life a little bit too, and that got going in my head how you know, it is important, psychologically important, to keep what you're doing on stage separate from what you're doing in life. So the stage is is different from real life, quote unquote. But at the same time, I think it's also extremely important for what you're doing on stage or in front of a camera to have the boundary between acting and real life to be porous, to have many places where real life is constantly filtering into what you're doing creatively. And that's going to happen no matter what, but to be conscious about the fact that the truth in your acting is coming from the truth in your life, and it'll make its way into your work. The more consciousness and alertness and awareness, I think, you bring to your real and daily life, to what you're doing in real life, paying attention to how you're feeling in real life situations, so that when it comes time in a play or in a show or a movie, that you're supposed to call up a certain sort of reaction, a certain sort of emotion, or a certain sort of thought. If you've been paying attention to your real daily life, you've got a head start. You probably have things that'll come to mind pretty quickly as to, well, this happened yesterday, this happened last year, I remember when this happened, it made me feel this way. So it's perceptive living as well as perceptive reading of the script.
Yeah, I think that's, I agree with you on that totally, and it's interesting. I'm glad you brought up the perspective reading, because yeah, I didn't realize until this past summer how important being able to read a script and understand what the characters want to do in a scene. Yeah. I guess it's pretty important, I think. And do you read a lot or something, or is there any way that you practice that, or does it kind of come naturally to you just to be able to read and grasp the characters? And
I think definitely the more you do it, the more naturally it starts coming to you. You start developing habits just from doing it over and over again. But I do read a lot, just generally. And actually, I think one of the things that has helped me read scripts better than I did before was I started reading a lot of poetry. Because the language of poetry is so emotional and so intuitive, and you start to get the rhythms in your mouth and in your body and in your head, the rhythms of speech, and you start to, and that helped me more than anything to find the rhythms and the speech patterns of characters, finding where to put the stresses on certain words, finding the modulations in pitch and in tone. Reading poetry unlocked a lot of that for me, which I didn't expect.
What was it like? Did you just decide to read poetry on your own, or did someone recommend some poetry to you?
I just decided to start reading it on my own. Yeah.
That's interesting. Poetry, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give poetry another shot.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. Yeah. What were some of the scripts that you worked with last summer?
Like it was like TV stuff. Like one of the scripts was from the I forget that zombie show that's out now. Pretty good. Actually got pretty good reviews. That's the first season.
Was it on the Sci-Fi Channel or something?
I can't remember. What's that show with the zombies? What?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I read for that. And read for some movies like Kevin Bacon, old Kevin Bacon movie. Yeah, and also Drop Dead Divas, actually.
Okay.
If you've heard of that show, Drop Dead Divas, I read a few scenes. Sometimes it was a woman, like a mom or something, but yeah, and it's interesting with that stuff, like the timing. That, well, I guess I learned at least, like if you have a yes or no answer, or whatever, if your character says yes or no, usually, or you don't want to look at your script, like when you're auditioning for that scene, and your character says yes or no to something, you don't want to look down and say yes and then say like yes. You know what I mean? It's like
that breaks the connection between you and the...
Yeah, because it's not real. Like if someone asks you your name, you're not gonna think like Guy Aiken. You know what I mean? You know, and so it's just reading the script like that as well is just not only understanding just well, I guess it's understanding the interpretation, but also like the timing. Like I read one scene where my guy was getting fired, and the guy in the middle of the scene, the employer, you know, says something like along the lines of "You're fired," and my line is "What?" You know, like what? Like really? Like surprise? Like, and that's got to be quit. Something like what? You can't be like what? Yeah. But at the same time, if you have like 3 lines or something, then it's definitely acceptable to look down. You know, if you're not expected to memorize your scene, at least when you're auditioning, which is what we kind of focused on, audition technique. Yeah. But
so, were these specific things that they worked with you on?
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of like how to read a scene and yeah, just I guess how to act, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it helped.
I mean, I think there are some things that are hard to teach. I think timing is one thing that's hard to teach. You know, it's something that you just got to feel.
Yeah,
it's something you got to end up just have to sort of feeling within yourself, and the more you do it in front of a camera or on stage, the probably the better sense you're going to have of it. That's but it's that's the sort of thing. It's an art.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a science.
Yeah, and I think like kind of what you were saying earlier. I think you can bring that to your real life to help you practice to be better at timing. You know, and I guess be a better actor, and from that, like I'll sometimes try to crack a joke or something, or you know, a line, you know, just for like timing, comedic effect, like in my real life, and you know, sometimes I bomb. You know, sometimes it's like, what are you doing? But you know, other times it seems to go well, and yeah, so.
I can't tell jokes in real life.
Really?
I'm a terrible joke teller.
Yeah, not even really, not even just like a joke teller, you know, but just like, you know, just, well, let me see, this, I try to do this, let me see this, go with me here, alright?
Yeah.
So, I don't think I haven't told you about the Jason Reitman encounter.
No.
All right, good. So Jason Reitman, do you know who he is?
Yeah, the director.
Yeah,
film
director.
Yeah.
Juno, Thank You for Smoking.
Up in the Air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came to Wake Forest this past Sunday.
Oh.
Or Saturday. He was the keynote speaker for the film festival here.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah. I didn't either, actually. A friend of mine told me. I'm glad he did. Thankfully. But anyways, he came and spoke to us, at Wake Chapel, and afterwards I kind of followed him out because I just wanted to ask him if he wanted to do a conversation piece with me. I just felt like if I didn't ask him, I'd feel terrible.
Yeah.
So I kind of followed him out, and he went with a couple other guys and a security guard to a place where they were going to eat. He was going to eat with a bunch of other Wake Forest people, and I was able to actually get a hold of him before he went to eat. And I just went up and said, like, basically, I know you probably don't have time, but would you mind, doing a conversation piece? I try to do these conversation pieces on YouTube. I was wondering if you wanted to do it.
So one of these, you want to do one of these?
Yeah, with them, yeah. And he said he didn't want to do it. Yeah.
That's a good story.
Thanks. Yeah, I just holding that last part of the joke. Not really joke, but last part of the line. Like, that's it. He just didn't want to do it. When I hold that, it usually gets a chuckle. So, interesting thing, but...
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
Thanks. Yeah. But yeah, he did. Yeah. Humble guy though. He's a good guy. I'm glad I asked him, and he seems like a good guy. Just
did he ever do any acting himself, or has he always just been a director?
From the sounds of it, he's always been a director.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did acting in the small films when he was in college, but yeah, he's always been in directing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Do you know? Is his dad?
Yeah, it's his dad.
Ivan.
His dad. Yeah. His dad actually.
That is his dad.
Yeah, his dad just made the movie No Strings Attached, actually.
With
that came out.
Is that Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher?
Yeah. So. Yeah, he was talked about being under his dad's shadow a lot, and it's interesting how he also got his job not from his dad, but just kind of like putting his film into film festivals, and it was, I guess, just in that part of the business, he couldn't, the way he just came up was, pretty interesting how he made it, but not through his dad.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Well, I think for this generation of movie goers, they're probably not going to be thinking a whole lot about Ivan Reitman anymore. Yeah. No,
even now, I mean, I'm not going to see No Strings Attached. I don't know who is, but I think Ivan, or even whatever his name is, I think he might be out of touch a little bit.
Yeah.
That's his recent movie. Like Up in the Air, Thank You for Smoking. Like those are good movies. You know, but
what was his first movie, Jason Reitman?
I think it was Juno.
Really?
Yeah. At least his first mainstream. I could be. It may have come with something else before that, but yeah.
How old is he now? Is he still a young guy?
From the way he was talking, it sounded like he was mid-30s.
So he's still a pretty young guy.
He's still pretty young, yeah. 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 Well. Yeah. You're what, 20. You gotta be getting up there a little bit.
I'm 32.
32.
Yeah. 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 My 20s were. It's kind of a difficult decade.
Really?
That's when I went to. That's when I went to New York City for a little over a year, and was gonna go to the Atlantic Theater Acting Conservatory, but I got up there and decided not to do that, and I just ended up working and auditioning here and there for different things, and I never got anything, and I got tired from the city and decided to leave. Went back to school, but the paradox of that situation is by giving the whole process of giving up what was for me the dream of being a professional working actor, the difficulty and a lot of the pain that was associated with that has made me a better person, and it's made me a better actor, ironically.
Yeah, man. Like I honestly, like, it scares the hell out of me that you decided to stop doing it, because I mean, I think you're a damn good actor.
Thanks.
And just like a good real person too. So but it sounds like you've gotten even better, since then, which gives me hope, because maybe now you might be able to land. You never know. You could go out there and land some roles.
I mean, being a good actor and having the right personality, and I've talked to you about this before, having the right sort of personality and character to make a career out of acting are not the same thing. They're just not. And I didn't have the right personality. I didn't have the consuming, almost obsessive drive to make it happen. So it was the right decision for me to give that up and do something different.
I think I'm just stupid enough to do it.
Yeah, man.
To have the drive. I'm just stupid enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I wish a lot of people who watch this know you, but for those who don't, you have a great, essence, to you, and I don't know. I guess that's probably just from what maybe what you've learned from past decade, maybe.
Yeah, probably a lot. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe this last part of this video, maybe you want any advice, any wisdom? Or,
I mean, I think the only advice I could give is live life with as much awareness and alertness and consciousness, as I said before, as you possibly can, so that even if you're making mistakes, you're learning from them, and not just intellectually. You're learning something deeper within yourself that's forming you and shaping you. And if you're able to take everything that comes to you with a certain basic level of presence to it, it'll shape you in a way that will make you a better person and a better actor, if that's the way you're headed, than you are now, instead of making you bitter or sour. That's everybody's life path is different. Everybody's going to do different things, make different mistakes, have different successes, and nobody can tell anybody else what they should or shouldn't do. But I can say that bring presence of mind to whatever it is that you do, and you'll never stop learning and growing, I don't think.
Yeah. I hear you on that. That's good. I'll tell you what, man. Being more aware though, man, and learning, like it's like it's tough too sometimes, because when you learn, sometimes it hurts a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess that's the right way to go, though. It's the right way.
Yeah.
Gotta just remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good conversation.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. All right. Well, it was good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
And thank you all, whoever happens to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. And yeah. All right. Hit the record or hit the stop button.
Yeah.
We good? All right. See you guys.